here. First time I watched it, made me fucking cry. I talked about it last time. But this time I want to go into the background of this movie because I thought it was so good. A little bit of the history, you could say. Inside Out is a 2005 American computer animated film directed by Pete Docter. From a screenplay he co-wrote with Meg LeFauve and Josh Cooley. Excuse me. Produced by Pixar, it stars the voices of Amy Poehler, Phyllis Smith, Richard Kind, Bill Hader, Louis Black, Mindy Kaling, Caitlin Diaz, Diane Lane, and Kyle MacLachlan. The film follows the inner workings inside the mind of a young girl named Riley, as 5 personified emotions administer her thoughts and actions as she adapts to her family's relocation. Docter conceived Inside Out in late 2009 after noticing changes in his daughter's personality as she grew older, and it was subsequently greenlighted. Based on the remembrances of Docter and the film's co-writer and co-director Ronnie Del Carmen, they adopted an idea involving emotions for the film. During production, the filmmakers consulted psychologists and neuroscientists in order to achieve greater accuracy in their portrayal of the mind. Development on Inside Out lasted for 5.5 years and on an approximate $175 million budget, and the film faced production difficulties, including story changes. Inside Out debuted out of competition at the 68th Cannes Film Festival. Sorry, not music. When I see festival, my brain just assumes it's a music festival. On May 18, 2015, and was released in the United States on June 19. Excuse me. The film received positive reviews for its craftsmanship, screenplay, subject matter, plot, and vocal performances, particularly those of Poehler, Smith, Kind, and Black. Organizations like the National Board of Review and the American Film Institute named it as one of the top 10 films of 15. Inside Out earned $858.8 million worldwide. So they spent 175, they made more than quadruple that, almost 8 times that. Finishing its theatrical run as the 7th highest gross, and that wasn't even the highest grossing film of up to 15. The film was nominated for 2 awards at the 88th Academy Awards, winning Best Animated Feature, and received numerous other accolades. A sequel, Inside Out 2, is scheduled to be released in 2024. Themes and analysis. So the main theme of Inside Out are the consequences and portrayal of emotions and memories. Those depicted in the film are honest and generous. Their goal is maintaining Riley's life. Natasha Moore of the Australian ABC News detailed the film's theme. Riley's carefree life gets more complicated. Joy's attempts to deliver uninterrupted happiness become increasingly neurotic. Nicole Markotic, it's a crazy name that it rhymes with neurotic, argued that the film explores the relationship between the many and the one, demonstrating that people have composite personalities. The different components of one person's personality are vital for that person's emotional and psychological balance. Depression and sadness are distinct in the film, and this distinction is meant to offer individuals strategies to avoid suppressing crucial feelings. Writing in the British Journal of Psychiatry, Hannah Markarian and Paula Wilkinson agree that this validation of different emotions helps people express themselves. Ruth Bettelheim of USA Today wrote that human responses to physical and social environments evolved over millions of years and have not yet been fully understood, as shown by the film, not including Riley's bodily sensation and their possible effects on mental states. Primatologist Louis Barrett thought the film showed disconnection between characters who are not relating to each other or to their own emotions, but moments of personal harmony lead to positive interpersonal connections. I don't know what the fuck that means. USA Today's Jamie Outman, the film that shows the major environmental changes can be difficult but not impossible to overcome, recommending it to college students experiencing homesickness or sadness. The development of Inside Out began in late 2009 when director Pete Docter felt anxiety about his adolescent daughter Ellie's progressing introversion. Docter approached Ronnie Del Carmen to become a co-director, and he eventually accepted the offer, citing his accidental animation work. They relived their past experiences and histories to adopt an idea involving emotions for the film, aiming to depict them with strong, caricatured personalities. Docter had decided to make it after Del Carmen determined most of the film's aspects had narrow appeal. The director and producers, Jonas Rivera, researched the mind with the help of psychologist Paul Ekman and the University of California Berkeley professor of psychology, Dasher Keltner. On Dasher, on Prancer. Pixar animator Dan Holland and his team allowed some psychologists and specialists to accurately develop the film's story. Production designer Raph Eggleston authorized neuroscientists to design the locations in Riley's mind using DNA-based cues and photographs of neuronal flashes. That's cool. In Keltner and Ekman's opinion, they emphasize the emotions, formation of social lives, and interactions which can moderate themselves. While Keltner focused on sadness that strengthens relationships, Ekman identifies 7 emotions with universal signals early: anger, fear, sadness, disgust, joy, contempt, and surprise. Therefore, Docter removed surprise from Inside Out after he corroborated that it and fear were similar. Contempt was abandoned also by the filmmakers. 2 of joy's initial names, happiness and an unrelated optimism, were combined with joy. A total of 26 emotions, including irritation, envy, greed, gloom, despair, depression, love, schadenfreude, ennui, shame, embarrassment, and hope, were considered for the film before reducing to their possible value. Its finalized, streamlined scope featured a condensed story and the emotions traits. Inside Out was greenlit October of 2009 after Docter was interested in performing the main character's story arc. Chief Creative Officer John Lasseter offered little input on the film due to his focus on restructuring Walt Disney Animation Studios, and it was the first for Pixar without involvement of co-founder and former Apple CEO Steve Jobs. See, I didn't know this. That Steve Jobs was the co-founder of Pixar, and he passed in 2011. Executives at Disney and Pixar were positive at Docter's proposal, but acknowledged it was difficult to advertise. The film spent 5.5 years in development with an approximate $175 million budget, as we said earlier. Docter and Eggleston described this an intricate and lengthy process. As such, first-time directors were likely ineligible to work on the film. This wasn't a regular movie. Inside Out, emotional whirlwind, a spinner ride, ran since 2019 at Disney California Adventure. Emotions at Play with Pixar's Inside Out is an exhibit at the Children's Museum of Pittsburgh. That's cool. That's been in operation since 2021. It features activities based on set pieces from the film. A sweet shop, Inside Out Joyful Sweets, opened on Disney Wish in July 2022. The sequel. Inside Out will be followed by Inside Out 2. It will follow a teenage Riley with a new set of personified emotions. So this movie, it describes how sadness is needed to appreciate joy. But it puts it in the perspective of, like, it breaks it down in a beautiful way. And so there's these emotions, these memories, right? And the memories are like, they're either joy or they're sadness. And joy obviously wants to have most of them be hers. And the red ones they were anger moments and shit. And there's moments for all of them. But when you get older, as she's changing, there's become these memories that are sad and happy, and it's a mix. So joy and sadness have this adventure by themselves, while the other emotions, joy and sadness, are away, while the other emotions are there to play. So it's just anger, disgust, content, fear, whatever ones were left. Um, and it's crazy because we need those. And we don't like sadness, but we need it, which is interesting. Just thinking about today, man.